Mahindra created quite a few ripples in the Indian market with the launch of the BE6 and the 9E. Now those are basically superb looking SUVs, modern, futuristic, etc. But the Indian market also demanded something casual, something which a normal family would like. And the answer comes in form of this, the 9S. Now of course this is a 7-seater SUV and promises a lot, actually a lot of space, features, etc. This is the top of the line version we have with us. It's called the Pack 3 above and it costs about 29 point something lakh rupees ex showroom, and this is going to be their flagship model. But what does it offer? What all does it get? Let's find out. But before we do that, do remember to subscribe to the AutoToday YouTube channel and press that little bell icon so that you get notified every time we go live with a new video. Now conventional is not something which I think Mahindra can do ever again. This also looks rather radical, and this is the 700 basically, which comes with a new look and all that, and I think that the new generation 700 will look like this. But coming back to this particular one, you also get a nice little light patch out here, the big tube light, which is the signature of Mahindra vehicles right now. Light cubes out here, these are all automatic lights. Of course, no grill, it's an electric, why do you need a grill? So when you look at it from the front, it looks big, imposing, and that is because of the dimensions it carries. But in the profile, it looks slightly more docile. As compared to the front end, the profile looks a lot more sedate. It's got these big window lines, a nice prominent shoulder line, of course the flush fit door handles, and these new aero alloy wheels, 18 inches. Looks nice and big, but the thing I want to tell you is that this is an in-glow platform. That means what Mahindra has done is use the skateboard from the in-glow platform which they have, which underpins the BE and the other one, and put a top hat on this, and that's how this particular vehicle was born. But the radicalism continues at the back when you go at the back, because that's something I told you, Mahindra designers I don't think can get over that. So let's have a look at that. At the back again, it's a big SUV and it shows bold lettering which says the 9S, LED lighting all around. But the one thing which they have missed out on, or rather they've kept it away from this particular variant, is the connected tail lights. Connected tail lights not on the 9S. For that you have to choose the other fancy bits. But the interior is something which is even more fun and useful. So that's next. Join me inside the 9S. While the exteriors have been toned down a lot when it compares to its cousins, the BE6 and the 9, the 9S inside is a world of difference. The first thing which catches your eye are these screens. Now this has become a norm these days. So you get triple screens, all 12.3 inch units. Each has its own functionality. That is for the passengers. You can watch YouTube on the go and things like that. This is your infotainment system which tells you all about the car. Audio system which is fantastic. It's a Harman Kardon unit. Up to 16 speakers in this vehicle. Sound quality is absolutely sublime. You also get a digital instrument panel as I mentioned, and of course you get all the displays, all the information which you might have. Now there's one thing which I want to specifically talk about is the fact that they have integrated the camera system, the 360 cameras and all that, in a multiple options, you know. So if you have the app of this car, you can activate them and you can have a visual. It's like a CCTV camera working outside the car, and I think that's a absolute fantastic conception. There's also cameras inside, so if you have a pet inside, you can keep the temperature controlled and even keep a lookout for him or her. Now coming back to the dashboard, of course nice clean panels, devoid of any switches, buttons. The only button cluster is here. Again, this is a piano black treatment and it's not a touch, so you have to physically press it, and this is the only place where we could fault the interiors of the 9S. Lot of storage, you press this, button opens, lot of cubby holes, you have your wireless charging Type-C ports and all of that, plus a nice little gear lever out here. You get additional space here. And before we move forward, let me tell you that you can operate this car via the app. you can use the key, which now is the spaceship key, and also the NFC card. So multiple ways to do that. Steering wheel, nice, looks cool, central display kind of thing. Touch again, very nice. These are for your region buttons, these are also for your mode buttons, so quick access available on the steering wheel as well. Conventional controls out here. The seats are nice and large, but they lack a bit of support, so around corners when we were going for it, I would have loved some more support, much like the BE6 actually, but that's a bit too sporty. Lot of space in the doors, big bottle holder, more space available to empty your pockets. You get more space under the center console out here. Putting it all together, I think this is a big SUV, and space is something which front passengers at least will not complain about. But what happens when you step at the back? That's next. This is where probably you will be sitting if you are one of those who leave your car to a chauffeur. But let's start with the basics. Now you can see there's not much space available because this seat has been pushed all the way back. But this car has what they call the boss mode, and that's electrical. So I press a button and this little chair in front of me goes out and then opens up lots of space. I can have the seat back going forward as well, like so. So controls are there. This is what Mahindra is calling as a BYOD stuff, and that means bring your own device. And what happens is that you can have your own iPad or buy one from Mahindra and you can locate it here. It's also got a charging point here, and that means kids can have a game when you are driving to places. The other nice touch on this car is having a picnic table. Now generally picnic tables are mounted at one point and are not actually capable of carrying too much weight, but here if I press this button you can see a proper mechanism. So this can actually hold your laptop, iPad or your lunch. So nice touch to have. Again, you have a little cubby here to keep your phone and stuff. AC vents at the back, of course for privacy. A blind is here, and then comes the party piece of this car. Now we've seen ventilated seats on the front seats, and I have always had that question for bigger cars where owners are generally at the back seat, so they do not have the comfort of having ventilated seats. In this particular car you get a button out here which you can switch on and the ventilation starts. That's a fantastic thing to have. You can also adjust these seats so that you can move back and forth to ensure that people at the back get enough space, and that's a nice touch. Of course, if you want a third row passenger, just fold it, enough space. But overall this car feels spacious in the second row as well. But can we say that for the third row as well? Let's find out. Now, somehow I've got into the third row of the 9S, and let me tell you, I don't want to be in this place for a long drive. I mean, a city commute is fine. Getting in is also fine because the seat tumbles pretty well. This seat has been pushed all the way forward, and it's a very knee up position. It's not comfortable. Kids will be super comfortable in this seat, but full size adults, I don't think this is the place to be for a long drive. This is best used as a boot and 7-seater as and when required.
Mahindra will offer a multiple battery pack options for the XEV 9S. The version we drove was the top spec variant referred to as the Pack 3 and above. Our test vehicle features a 79 kWh battery pack with a claimed range of 679 km. It also enables fast charging, and 20 to 80% charge can be gained in just 20 minutes. Powering the 9S is a rear-mounted electric motor producing 282 bhp and 380 Nm of torque, sending power to the rear wheels. Multiple drive modes are also offered, and they all affect changes to the vehicle's behavior. We got very limited time to drive the vehicle, but the test route included corners as well as straight roads for us to offer a judgment to you. The first thing to notice is that the 9S is extremely peaceful within the cabin. There's literally no noise to bother you inside and the cabin, and this speaks volumes for the NVH packaging. Performance is much like the family man. who might just have dual personalities. With the family, the 9S glides effortlessly, offering ample power to overtake without hesitation. The suspension absorbs well, and as a result, the occupants will feel comfy inside. However, there is a tendency to wallow at times and it could get a bit irritating. The steering feels light and the 10-meter turning radius is small enough to allow easy turns. But when the family van wants to chase the horizon, the 9S plays ball. It accelerates rapidly and can sit at high speeds without any worry. Around corners too, the SUV feels confident and the body roll is kept under check as well. However, a little more feedback could have done well. The XEV 9e then fits the bill for those who are looking for a not so flashy SUV. The top spec variant priced at Rs 29.45 lakh sounds fine considering the amount of equipment you get. But if you don't want to stretch it that much, there is many more options to choose from.